let's see what the president has been up to in the last 24 hours. Does this guy sleep?
What's Melania doing for Valentine's Day today? Is this something when he's the president of the United States? Is he thinking about that type of thing?
No, I think he has people who think about
people
that kind
who
of
have
thing.
people.
Yeah, people who have people.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, maybe his son, like, Dad, maybe you should carve out a couple of hours tonight. Oh crap! I didn't even. You're president. I think I can make a few calls.
I feel like it's interesting just the fact that we have a president that's awake. Like every day, he seems to wake up. We see him places. Have you noticed this? I don't know if you've noticed this at all, but like the current president of the United States, we see him out doing things. Isn't that weird? It feels weird. I don't know about this new system we have where the president is awake every day. That's a strange. It's changing our traditions, Glenn. I'm concerned about it.
It is. Well, Barack knows we've got to change our.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, Trump has dropped the hammer on the rest of the world with tariffs. And I kind of like this tariff. Whatever they charge us, we're going to charge them. So,
reciprocal tariffs.
Reciprocal tariff. That's fair. We're not going to charge you. I mean, maybe China, but we're not going to charge you more than you charge us. You charge us something, we'll charge you. I think that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how it certainly seems fair.
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't fire up. Because the rest of the world loves tariffs. They love tariffs more than we love tariffs. Even though Trump,
I don't love tariffs.
I don't love them at all.
Yes.
Trump does love them. You've talked to him about this even in private conversations.
Yes.
This is not, by the way, in case you were wondering, does he just saying this for the cameras? No, he really loves them. He loves tariffs. I don't agree with him on that particular policy, though he has used it to great effect, of course, recently.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, if someone starts charging you 175% tariff on a particular item, picking that same item and putting a tariff of 175% certainly is fair. Now, of course, the reason we import things typically is because we don't have them here.
Right.
So,
but not necessarily like
not
cars.
Always. Yeah, not always.
Like cars.
Yeah.
Europe charges us 10% tariff to send a Ford over, and we charge them 2% to send a Mercedes.
And
I mean, what's fair about that?
Again, one of the things that's fair about that is us not paying an extra 8% on a car. Right? Like that is we get a benefit of that as a consumer that if we want to buy a European car, we'll pay a little bit less and now we'll pay a little bit more. So there is a penalty to that. However, it is certainly fair. The word fair, I think, applies when it comes to nation relation.
Yeah.
One of the things we've liked about having these lower tariffs on our side is getting lower prices for our consumers.
Correct.
And so, and as Trump has discussed, he's been very upfront with us. There's going to be pain with these policies, but long term, we think it's worth it, and that's really where the rubber meets the road.
Okay, so now everybody's very, very, very upset about Donald Trump signing off on DOGE and the audit of the IRS. Now, I do have to question your sanity when you're against the audit of the IRS. I mean,
they seem to be for audits.
Wow, yeah.
Why can't audit them?
Who do you have to be against an audit of the IRS? And bring every single receipt you have. I want to see every receipt. I want to help them.
By the way, Glenn.
Yeah.
I work with you. My job is, and for multiple decades now, has to become closely associated with Glenn Beck.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Oh, it's the perks on the benefits.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I can't even count them.
Yeah.
Yet, somehow, I made it through the entire Barack Obama administration.
Yeah.
And the entire Joe Biden administration.
Yeah.
Without getting audited.
Yeah, not me.
And I know. I remember.
Yeah.
And yet, what happens 2 weeks ago, I get a letter from the IRS with Trump in office that I'm getting audited. And I don't know if this is just like a parting gift from the Biden administration.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, how is that happening? After all that, I mean...
Thank God somebody noticed your shadiness. Somebody finally noticed. He's very shady. He's very shady. You know, the good thing is both of us stay to our accountants, we always say the same thing. Anybody who's preparing our tax, stay way away from the line.
Yes, 100%.
When in doubt, leave it out.
But still, it's incredibly frustrating. And like we were talking to Alan Dershowitz yesterday. He's like, I've got every single book, everything.
I know.
Like, I mean, yeah, sure. Somewhere I have every receipt from 2022. I'm sure, but
I
mean, this is this relationship that we have with the government that is this adversarial torture fest that we pay for every year. We all are like, oh, gosh, I can't wait to pay my taxes. Maybe I'll get a refund. Maybe they'll give me some of the money that is mine back to me multiple months later.
I believe that's what happened to me. I believe they actually owed me money.
After the audit?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were
I stay away from the line.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
That's what you have to be.
Jail time doesn't sound good to me.
No.
In any way, shape, or form.
And if the wrong administration is in there, the wrong IRS agent that doesn't like your show happens to be doing it, well, guess what happens? They push it beyond the limits of normalcy.
So the good senator and common sense-filled senator from Oregon, Ron Wyden, said, this means Musk's henchmen are in a position to dig through a trove of data about every taxpayer in America. Wait, what? You mean like the IRS does?
It's core government function to you guys. What are you talking about?
What's up with that? And it could very well be the reason behind any possible delays in people receiving their tax refunds for 2024. What a scare tactic. These guys are so freaked out about Donald Trump. I mean, the one thing that happened yesterday that everybody should recognize, Mitch McConnell was alone. He was alone. Huge. That's gigantic.
On 2 votes, Tulsi and RFK.
I know.
And before this, if McConnell said, hey, this is where I'm going, he would always have a bunch of buddies that would come with him, his closest friends. And they would always do that.
It's weird. You cut off the money and things change.
Yeah, he no longer has the leadership. He no longer has control of that cash. All of a sudden, he's a lonesome dove.
Yep. So let me I just want to ask, are you tired of winning? Let me just give you the winning streak so far in Congress. Marco Rubio voted to be confirmed 99-0. Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, confirmed 68-29. Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum, 79-18. Brooke Rollins, Secretary of Agriculture, 72-28. Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, 77-22. Pam Bondi, 54-46. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Scott Turner, 55-44. Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright, 59-38. Doug Collins, Veterans Affairs, 77-23. Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, 59-34. Lee Zeldin became the EPA administrator, 56-42. I got to tell you, Lee Zeldin, there's some stuff that he did yesterday. You're like, holy cow.
I have high hopes for him.
Me too.
I mean, he's off to a very good start.
Yeah. Russ Vought, who I just absolutely love. Director of Office Management and Budget. He's done a lot of incredible things this week, 53-47. John Ratcliffe confirmed as CIA Director, 74-25. Tulsi Gabbard and RFK were confirmed yesterday. You have Kash Patel, who got out of the committee and is going to be voted on early next week. And, of course, you have Pete Hegseth. I mean, and Mitch McConnell standing there alone all day yesterday. This is good. Now, the president did a couple of other things yesterday that are groundbreaking, but we need to make sure Congress passes all of these things as laws, and they're not just executive orders. And that's going to require us to keep the heat on Congress. And they're working on the budget. Congress just put together their budget for next year. The Senate is squealing like stuck little pigs, but we need to get them to pass in one bill. And you're going to get some crap in that one bill, I'm sure, but you really have a hard time going to get 2 bills through on reconciliation. So we need it in one bill.